Thank you. Here's BuddyHolly's first song. Blue days, black nights, blue tears keep on falling for you, dear. Now you're gone. Blue days, black nights, my tears keep on calling for you, dear. You alone. Oh, memories of you make me sorry. I gave you reason to doubt me. Now you're gone, and I'm left here all alone with blue memories. Think of you. Oh, memories of you make me sorry. I gave you reason to doubt me. Now you're gone, and I'm left here all alone with blue memories. I think of you. With blue memories, I think of you. Oh, that's Buddy's first song. Yeah, we're going to teach you all about BuddyHolly tonight. You'll learn about how he got started. You know, that great era we all remember, the 50s, you know, that I'm that sentimental type guy. You know, whenever you hear a song, it triggers some memory, something. Or you see a car. You know, I just saw a 56 Chevy. It brought me back to my first ride in a 56 Chevy that I remember. I can remember the smell of the upholstery, the glow of those dash lights, the chrome. Or I heard Pat Boone singing April Love on the way over. It triggered a memory. You know, we're all like that. Music of our era. That was a great era. We'll talk about it a lot. I also have a special guest. My Auntie Kreamsaugen is going to come out and tell stories about us growing up and about her experiences from that era. I know you'll love her. BuddyHolly, a great time. Those of us that went through the 50s, every one of us have fond memories of that era. But in 1959, it changed in a hurry. We heard this on the radio.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin. 3 young singers who soared to the heights of show business on the current rock and roll craze were killed today in the crash of a light plane in an Iowa snow flurry. The singers were identified as Richie Valens, 17, BuddyHolly, 22, and J.P. Richardson, known professionally as the Big Bopper. The aircraft chartered from the Dwyer Flying Service crashed near Mason City, ironically the setting for the prominent musical The Music Man. The pilot, Roger Peterson of Clear Lake, Iowa, was also killed. The 3 singers had appeared at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa last night and were on their way to Fargo, North Dakota. Their small chartered plane crashed in a lonely farmyard about 15 miles northwest of Mason City. Cause of the crash was due to inclement weather conditions. Details upcoming from Action Central News.
I know many of you remember that. I think I do. I think I remember hearing that, and it impacted me. I was playing BuddyHolly songs by that time. We all loved him. Half the artists that followed seemed to have picked up something from BuddyHolly. But you know, he was just human. Buddy grew up in Lubbock, Texas. He was born in 1936 into a musical family, middle-class family. He had 3 brothers and 1 sister. And for entertainment, they'd sit around and play songs. Well, Buddy was expected to learn an instrument. So his mother, being the mother she was, tried to teach him piano. My mother tried to teach me piano. Didn't work. So she tried violin. That didn't work either. I think they even tried accordion. I dabbled in that too. Didn't work until Larry, his brother, bought him a guitar. Now, a guitar player starts out by learning a D chord, maybe a G chord, or a C chord, A chord, and goes on and on. Pretty soon you're strumming. This is called strumming. Once you can strum, you can play songs. So they'd sit around the living room and they'd sing songs as a family. They'd also listen to that radio. Yeah, they'd pick up tunes from there. But it wasn't long until Larry said, "Buddy, you've got to go beyond that strumming stage." And he showed them this. Now, you're at the next level. You're playing bass and you're playing the guitar. And you can speed it up and you get tunes like, "Oh, 5'2", eyes are blue, but oh, what those 5 feet can do. Has anybody seen my gal? Turned up nose, sing along. Hasn't got no other bows. Has anybody seen my gal? And if you run into 5'2", all covered with furs, diamond ring, and all those things, you can bet your life it isn't her. Coochie coo, coochie goo, coochie goochie, goochie goo. Has anybody seen my gal? We all knew that song. Now I know it. So Buddy's got that. He's got it down. He's playing these songs now. Listening to the radio. He's listening to the Grand Ole Opry. He's also listening to big band music, because the big band had come in and around wartime just exploded. Beautiful melodic music. And he was listening to that and picking up on that. As you hear Buddy sing later on in this program, I want you to remember what you learned about things like that, things like melodic melodies. As Buddy grew, he started writing some great tunes. They were all great, though. But something came along to put that guitar out front, and that was electrifying it. You see, the guitar was an instrument in the big band that did something like this. Because it wasn't electrified yet, and they needed rhythm, so they did that chop. The country people did it that way. But when they electrified it, it changed things. The Carters came out with a tune. Did a lot. See, tell me if you remember the name of this. You're Auntie!
Oh, my
Auntie, you're
goodness
late,
sakes.
Auntie.
Oh, this rain is something terrible.
Oh,
Cut
yeah.
to Matilda.
Come on.
I got wet bloomers. Cut to Matilda. Oh, Louie, it's awful. I came through town, you know. I just got about a fourth of a mile from here.
Yeah,
And
yes.
all of a sudden I saw this red, white, and blue street. Something in my rear view mirror, red, white, and blue, and I thought, boy, he's patriotic. I could hardly see. The windshield wipers were going so fast. Yeah, and all of a sudden he came alongside of me. It was a Park Rapids policeman.
Well, of course it was.
Yeah, he pulled along the side of me like, "Get over, lady." Yeah, he did, and I have the show to do. And so I pulled over, and he came over to my window, had a big umbrella. Yeah. He said, "Lady, what do you usually do at a red light?" I said, "Well, I suppose I shouldn't have said it, but I said, well, I just finished my text message." He said, "Boy, with an answer like that, I better see your driver's license," he said. I said, "You know, that's just like you Park Rapids policemen. One of you took it away from me a week ago. Now you want to see it."
You've been in so much trouble.
He said, "Yeah, but you were going 60 miles an hour in this rain. It was a 35-mile-an-hour zone," he said. 65 miles. I said, "I got a show to do with Louie, and I got to get where I'm going before I forget where I'm going." At my age, you know, I can do that, Louis. Yeah, he started to go like this around his head. I thought it was the rain, but I said, "Hutta-matuda." I said, "What's wrong with you?" Well, he said, "We got circle flies here."
Oh, I remember circle
Yeah.
flies.
Yeah, he said, "We got all this rain, we got circle flies, and one of them has got under my umbrella, and he's after me." And I said, "Yeah, I know all about the circle flies because we had them on the farm
Oh,
in
we
Snooze
did.
Hollow when
We
you were
did.
little."
Yes.
Yeah. I said, "I know all about circle flies." I said, "You know, they always hung around a horse's hiney," I said.
Oh, I did. You shouldn't have said that.
He said, "Lady, are you calling me a horse's hiney?" I said, "No, sir, I'm not, but you can't fool that circle fly."
Auntie. Say, listen, I know you want to freshen up, so
Yeah.
we'll see you later.
I'm going to freshen
Calm
up,
down.
but you know what? I'm going to freshen up in a little bit. I got ufta, you know, I was such a terror, but I want to tell these people something. I can identify with BuddyHolly
How's that?
because I was born in 1936, too.
That's right. You
Yeah,
were. Yes.
I was, and that
Yes.
was my error, all that good music and all that dancing and that at that time. And you see, I'm going to tell some tall tales from Snooze Hollow that will tell you all about that. I'm also going to have some memories of my class reunion that I'm going to share with these people. That'll be the day,
Yeah.
won't it, huh? And I have with me, I wanted to show you this, I have outhouse memories. How many used an outhouse? Oh yeah, they're my audience. Why, okay, yeah, sure. Now, if you feel a laugh coming on this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, be sure and let it out. Because if you don't, it will find its own way out later on in the show when you least expect it. You too. I've heard them here in the front row. Yeah, I have. All right. Oh. I dropped my outhouse.
Yeah.
Look at that. There's my memories. All right, take it away, Louis. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.
We'll see you later. Look forward to those stories. Where were we? Well, Buddy was playing music mostly from the Grand Ole Opry, and he was listening to that big band stuff, you know? So, 1946 came along. It changed everything. Remember, that guitar is now electric. Therefore, the guitar can be on front. And this record came out by Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith was kind of an unknown artist, but he did a lot of things later on. That's Arthur Smith. Yeah, he had a lot of good stuff. He changed the way guitar players play guitar. He truly did, because that tune called Guitar Boogie was made for a guitarist, 2 fingers. Perfect. Kind of like part of a scale, you know? Good tune. Put that record out, it sold 1 million copies overnight. Think of that, 1946. 1 million copies. So they decided 3 years later to re-release it. It sold 3 million copies immediately. In fact, that tune, aside from being recorded hundreds of times in some variety, and the pattern being used over and over again, you hear it in BuddyHolly stuff, it was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in the early 70s as the #1 all-time guitar instrumental. Guitar Boogie, I remember that. So Buddy's playing that. And now he's like, he says, you know, I can play around my living room, but I'd sure like to have some people dance. So he hooked up with a guy named Bob Montgomery. And they started Buddy and Bob. They'd play for PTA meetings. I played for PTA meetings. They played for a sale in the parking lot at the grocery store. How about the local county fair, or the radio station, everything. In fact, I remember talking with one of the crickets, and I asked him kind of a question relating to that, and he says, we'd play for the opening of a pack of cigarettes. So what did they play at those dances? Well, Buddy liked Hank Williams. The news is out all over town that you've been seen running round. I know that I should leave it there. I just can't go, you win again. Oh, that ending. We all remember the song, but that ending. Listen to Buddy Holly's introduction to his first song. We know where he got it. Hank Williams, an important guy. You know, he influenced everybody. Yeah. Auntie, are you there?
I am, and I would sure like to sing with you or something.
Well, I was thinking of you because I just happened to think Hank Williams,
Yeah.
we used to sing.
Yeah,
Yes.
we did when you were a little boy.
Yep.
Yeah, you were. I harmonized with you.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'd like to sing with you. Why don't you love me like
you used to do? How come you treat me like a worn-out shoe? My hair's still curly and my eyes are still blue. So why don't you love me like you used to do? I ain't had no loving, a hugging and a kissing in a long, long while. We don't get nearer, further, closer than a country mile. Oh, why don't you love me like you used to do? How can you treat me like a worn-out shoe? My hair's still curly and my eyes are still blue. Why don't you love me like you used to do?
Oh, yeah.
Say, let's take a minute, and I'd like to talk with you a little bit.
Would
Sit
you?
down.
Oh, sure. We'll sit down here a little bit. Oh, yeah, sure. You betcha my pants are dry now. I can sit here with the bright light on me.
Yeah, well, I got a couple things I wanted to ask you about. I jotted them down. I thought, yeah.
Yeah?
You know, it's been so long since we've talked. Where do you live now? I've lost contact.
Oh, I still live in Snooze Hollow.
Oh, you
Up
do?
there, yep, in Hagen Township.
Yeah.
And you came from the flats country, you know.
Yep.
I came from the river bottom down there, you know, where we used to swim in the old mill dam. And do you remember my brother taught me how to swim?
Oh, I remember your brother. Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, he taught me how to swim. It was really easy to learn how to swim, ladies and gentlemen, but boy, it was tough to get out of the potato sack.
That water was deep there.
And it was deep, yeah. I know more about that, yeah. I gotta help you. Here. Yeah, go ahead
So,
then.
so aside from that, what are some of the lessons we learned?
You learned some lessons, Louie. I'm going to tell them about the lessons you learned.
Are you going to
You learned that a bumblebee is much faster than a John Deere tractor.
Oh, yeah. I remember that
He
one.
got
yeah.
him right on the end of an ear
No
one
time.
time. Yeah. And also that skinny dipping with snapping turtles.
Oh, that was serious. That got, yeah.
He got 8 stitches.
Yeah.
You don't want me to tell them about that, I suppose.
We'll move on.
8 stitches, yeah. And also, you know, letting the cat out of the bag was a lot easier than putting her back in. You sure got scratched up on that one. That was terrible.
Yeah, well, I was just a kid, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to tell them all kinds of things about you.
Well, we grew up eating lutefisk, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We tried.
Oh my goodness, you know, I taught him the difference between lutefisk and snot.
I know what you're going to say, yeah.
Yeah, well, he didn't know the difference, you see, that kids will eat snot, won't they?
Yeah.
I should really tell you about lutefisk. You know, I went to the store and asked if I could buy some lutefisk not too long ago.
Yeah, yeah.
That lady said, "You must be Norwegian," she said.
Right.
I got mad. I said, "Now this is not even funny. I come in and ask for lutefisk, and you say, 'You must be a Norwegian.'" I said, "If I had asked for Polish sausage, would you have said, 'Oh, you must be a Polak'?"
Makes sense.
Yeah, if I had asked for tacos, would you have said, "Well, you must be a Mexican"? Then I said, "Why is it then that I come in and ask you for lutefisk and you say, 'You must be a Norwegian'?" Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, "'Cause you're in Home Depot."
Auntie. You get confused as well.
Yeah, she did. That's what happened.
Well, I remember you always had something you were working on or doing. Do you still have hobbies?
I have lots of hobbies. I sign up for everything, you know, at the Senior Citizen Center.
Oh, yeah,
And,
yeah.
Louie, I made such a mistake about a month ago.
No.
I hate to even tell you this. At the community center, I signed up for a parachute club.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be kind of fun, but, you know, I didn't have my glasses on.
Yeah.
And I signed up for a prostitute club.
Auntie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I had signed up for 5 jumps a week.
Oh, Auntie.
Couldn't stand it. It was so awful. I was so embarrassed.
Well, if you're doing all of that, you must be tech savvy, I bet.
I am text savvy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, I just finished my text message there when that cop pulled me over. But you know, Louie, I had a really good time with Knut, my husband, because we, you know, I'm the romantic type. And I text him, you see. And I wrote to him, I even brought a copy of it so I could show it to you.
Yeah.
It says, "If you're sleeping, send me your dreams. If you're laughing, send me your smile.
Oh.
If you're eating, send me a bite. If you're drinking, send me a sip.
Oh,
If you're
that's
crying, send me your tears.
Oh, nice.
I love you, Knut," I wrote. And I hit send. Bling! All of a sudden I got a reply. "I'm in the outhouse. Please advise."
Inopportune time. Oh. Auntie, if you can't be kind, you at least have the decency to be a little vague on your stories.
I suppose I should clean them up a little.
Yeah. Have you always worn those glasses?
Well, no, I wasn't born with glasses
Oh,
on.
no.
No. But you know, I remember you when you got your first glasses.
Yeah.
He was in 4th grade. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in 4th grade and he came over to my house and he was telling me how good his glasses are. He said, "Auntie," he said, "I can see that one-eyed cat coming in the doorway over there," he said
Yep.
to me. I said, "Louie, take another look at the doorway. The cat is going out."
Just put me down a notch there. Well, did you and Knut have a bunch of kids, or how many children did you have?
Well, one that I know of. I think I had another one, but I don't really know if he was mine or not.
Auntie. Oh, you must be tired of the drink. Can I make you a drink? Are you thirsty?
You know, I'd like that, but I
What's your
don't think
favorite?
you'd like my favorite drink. It's milk of magnesia and 7-Up. It's called a Hurry Up.
Auntie. You know, I always remember you as being a good-looking gal and having a lot of dates, but I've always wondered, did you ever go on a blind date?
Well, I got awful close once, Louie. I was at the senior center, yeah, and I said to everybody, I said, if anybody can guess what's in my hand, you can have a hot date with me this week. Yeah, and a little feller way in the back, he said, it's an elephant. I said, that's close enough.
Auntie.
That was a close one.
Oh, you've got a lot of stories. You know, of all these stories, what's the favorite one from the old time? What's your favorite story?
About Buford and Agnes, your parents that lived down on the flats?
Oh, yeah.
No, I think I'm going to tell about you and Donna when you first got married.
Oh, no.
My husband, Canute, he went over to their farm. They hadn't been married very long, you know. He was going to borrow something from Louis. And he heard music coming from the machine shed when he got out of the pickup.
Yep.
And he went over to the machine shed, you know, and he looked in the little knot hole, and there was Louis. He was dancing to the John Deere tractor. Yeah, he was doing the bumps and grinds to that tractor. Like this, and oh, he shook a little there and there. Then he went over and kissed it on the hood. And my husband, Canute, he couldn't figure out, he thought he had lost his mind, you know. He was playing his guitar and singing, and he finally, when he started taking his suspender down, Canute said, I thought I better open the door and see what's going on. So he did. And he said, Louie, what are you doing? And Louie, oh, he jumped, you know. And he was shy. Oh, he said, well, I'm sorry, he said, but you know, I didn't want to tell you this, but Donna and I are having a little trouble in the bedroom. So I went to see AuntieKreamsaugen, the marriage counselor. And you know, she said I should do something sexy to attract her.
Thanks a lot, Auntie, for telling everyone that. Oh, my gosh. You know, we really were musical.
Yeah?
Do you still sing music and play?
I do.
Do you have a theme song or something?
I do. I have a theme song. Would you like to hear it?
Well, let's hear the theme song.
Oh, it is, if my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you.
Okay. Yeah.
If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. Then I forgot the words.
Well, at your age, I can understand that.
I know it, it's terrible.
Yeah.
If my nose was running money, you'd have everything you please. Anytime you wanted cash, all I'd have to do is sneeze. Achoo! You'd win the lottery when I'd have a cold or flu. And if my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. Sing with me. It's a booger of a problem I've got. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My nose ain't running money. No, it's not. If I were your neighbor, here's just what I'd do. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. And then the Leo, 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 Leo. You're just a bucket full of crazy, aren't you?
Nothing compared to you, AuntieKreamsaugen. Nothing.
Oh, my goodness sakes.
My mother told me that you had started writing a book.
Yeah, I have. I have. I just about got it ready to sell all these lively people, but I have a few additions for it that I need to put in there yet, you know, because I do words of wisdom.
Oh, yeah.
And I have added a few things. I wrote them down here. Never buy a chainsaw from a guy named Stumpy. Yeah. And also never take a memory course from a man who's got his pants on backwards. That's terrible. And always look both ways before running a red light. And don't wear a thong bathing suit with depends. That's something I have to make sure I tell everybody. Speaking of depends, I have to go.
Oh. I thought somebody's deodorant wasn't working quite right.
Listen,
All right.
It's not my deodorant that's not working. I don't wear any.
Thank you, Auntie. Oh, that's great. She's got more stories yet, believe me. Where were we here? Okay. Buddy had been playing gigs, and he decided he had to play dances as part of those gigs. So his best friend, Jerry Allison, a drummer, J.B. Malden, a bass player, started a band, which eventually became the Crickets. And they started playing those dance drums. Now, you had to play music that the people wanted that was popular at the time. I was waltzing with my darling to the Tennessee walls when an old friend I happened to see introduced him to my darling, and while they were waltzing, my friend stole my sweetheart from me. But I remember the night and the Tennessee waltz. Now I know just how much I lost. I lost my little darling the night they were playing that beautiful Tennessee waltz. Thank you. That was 1950. Who's it by? Patty Page, #1 song of 1950. So Buddy's doing those dances. He's playing a lot of different stuff, trying to get different ideas together, writing some of his old songs, or his own songs, I should say. He gets to hear artists coming through from Tennessee. It's kind of along the road on the southern area of the United States. He heard things like Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley had a guitar player named Scotty Moore, who had a little different style. Now remember, Buddy went through this style, he went through this style, he went through this style. And now he's at this one. And the difference is he's using some fingers. It's got that little bounce to it, and that's what attracted BuddyHolly. They got a job opening for Marty Robbins. If you know this, you gotta help me out. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all dressed up for the dance. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. I'm all alone in romance. Now see if you remember the words. Once you told me long ago. That's it. To the prom with me to go. Now you changed your mind someday. Someone else will hold my dreams. A white sport coat and a pink carnation. It's been a blue, blue day. Wasn't that a great tune? Oh, that's ultimate. You know, they're all nothing but love songs. Remember that. They're just love songs. Most of them love songs of our youth. And that's why we remember them. So Buddy went to Nashville after that. Marty Robbins' manager loved what he did for that opening act, and he got him a recording contract in Nashville. He went over and recorded that song and opened with blue days, black nights, blue tears keep on falling. However, for Buddy it was a disaster. He went over there and Nashville wanted him to do it like this. Remember the style they're in? Blue days, black nights, blue tears. And you can imagine the winding guitars in the back that they wanted to put in a room. Didn't work for Buddy. Not at all. He was very disappointed. The record hardly sold, and he went home dejected. But then he found Norman and Vi Petty in Clovis, New Mexico. They had a studio they just opened. They'd only had one artist so far, that being Roy Orbison. And Buddy and the Crickets spent a lot of time recording, like they wanted to record. Eventually, they had a hit, overnight success, toured the United States 2 years straight, toured Britain, went all over. Paul McCartney saw him, was just enthralled. They were major stars. But after 2 years, retirement. So the Crickets went back to Lubbock. Said, we're going to take a couple months off. Buddy said, I want to move to New York. He married Maria. Moved to New York and got a chance to write 3 songs actually, in a different style. He was growing, and he started using flowing chords, which you'll hear and listen to those later. He was also the first artist in those sessions to hire some string players from the New York Philharmonic. I understand it wasn't a real pleasant session, but boy did they get some results. It's the middle of the winter. He was forced to go on that last fateful tour to promote the record. The tour meets in Chicago, does some rehearsals, heads for Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin at the worst possible time of the year. Storms were hitting and it was bitterly cold. Before they got to Clear Lake, Iowa, that last night, they'd gone through 9 buses. They were freezing up on them. The artists on that bus were just suffering. Remember, most of these are kids. Richie Valens was 17 years old, and his mother had to send him a coat. He'd forgotten a winter coat. He called his mother. She had to send him one. Now think of your 17-year-old sending him off on this tour with some rock and roll crazies. They weren't crazy in those days. What a terrible thing to have happen to him. But they had fun. Everywhere they went, the audiences were just tremendous. The places were shoulder to shoulder, all the ballrooms, and they put on quite a show. So I want to go through each of those artists, and we're going to see how many you remember. So you got to help me out. First guy up, from Brooklyn, kind of short, an Italian, this sleek, black hair, good-looking kid. The girls go crazy in front, you know. I went to my girl. I said, hey, Betty Lou, I hear you've been playing around with someone new. She looked at me with a gleam in her eye. She said, why shouldn't I? You're such a fake hound. Whoa, whoa, such a fake hound. Yeah, yeah, you're such a fake hound. Whoa, whoa, such a fake hound. I teased you because I know you don't remember him. Frankie Sardo. That was Frankie Sardo, and he did have a major hit right at that moment. But that was his only hit. He kind of disappeared. He got in trouble years later with the IRS, but he wasn't in the music business anymore. But he got the crowd going. So the next act up, 4 guys come out. They're dressed in suits, and they're doing these dance steps. One day I feel so happy, next day I feel so sad. I guess I'll have to take the good with the bad. Each night I ask the stars up above, a teenager in love. Oh, isn't that a great tune? How, you know, we could we could write down those lyrics just right now. It's like we're reliving it. A great tune. And you can just imagine what all these kids from rural Iowa were thinking as they watched these guys on stage. You know, the lights, they're doing their dance steps. They'd never seen major artists before like this. What a night for them. I've had the honor of meeting just a few people that were actually there that night, and I know the excitement they felt. So the next artist that comes on, hello, darling, Chantilly lace, the Big Bopper. Now, BuddyHolly was about the same age as the Big Bopper, and he had that major hit. You know, he'd come on, he had the look, he just had that massive stage presence. He'd come on with a telephone, you know, that deal. But what we don't know about him is what else he could have done. I'm going to play you a song, and I want to see if you can sing along with this one. I'll stop in the middle, and I bet you every one of you knows the words to the song. This was his song, and he had more than one that you didn't know. On the banks of the river stood Running Bear, young Indian brave. We'll see how far we can go. On the other side of the river stood his lovely Indian maid. Little white dove was her name, such a lovely sight to see. But their tribes fought with each other, so their love could never be. Oh, Running Bear loved little white dove with a love big as the sky. Running Bear loved little white dove with a love that couldn't die. And I bet if we went through that whole song, you could sing all of it. And how many songs nowadays would you know all the lyrics to? You know, that's quite a feat. Yeah. Okay. We're getting close to the end of this night now, and Richie Valens is coming up. Remember, Richie is the youngest of this group. They've got him going now. He's got quite a backup band. Buddy had kind of put this band together for this tour. His Crickets didn't want to do it, remember? So he went back and he picked up some people, most notably Waylon Jennings. He was working at a radio station, wasn't a musician yet, and Buddy got him to play bass. And if you watch real close today, you might see him on a slide. And he actually taught him how to play bass for that tour. He also had a drummer he picked up that froze his feet when the bus broke down. He had a bass player that actually gave up his ticket, his seat on that plane at the last moment to Richie Valens because of a coin toss. Interesting stories, and there's a lot more. Of course, I don't have time to tell. Just a fascinating era. So Richie Valens comes on, and he's got a lot of hits at 17 years old, but I have to do Oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna. I had a girl, Donna was her name. Since she left me, I'd never been the same. How I love my girl, Donna, oh, where can you be? Where can you be? Oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna. Wasn't that a nice tune? That's Richie Valens. He had a whole album for him. Thank you. Oh, Auntie, you're back.
I came back, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
You told all the history about
Yep.
BuddyHolly and all those. I wanted to tell them a little history about Snooze Hollow.
It's funny you should come out because I just heard the bus, and Buddy's
Did
up
you?
next on the show.
Oh.
So I'm going to go out and help him unload and set up his amplifier.
But you know, before you go, will you promise you'll have pie with me after the show?
Sure.
I made a pie for you.
Why, thank you.
You know how I make the curly edges around here?
No.
I take my teeth out and I go like this. I wasn't going to tell them, but I thought probably I should. Well, you know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Snooze Hollow. I picked out a few stories that you might be interested in, you know. I was fishing one time on the dock there at Snooze Hollow. I had caught 13 walleyes, and I had them in my live well. And I always have a little trouble with the game warden or the police or something, you know. Sure enough, I tell you what, here he came up in a boat. He said, "Hi, lady." "Yeah, hi there." I said, "What you doing?" "Well, I'm playing with my pet walleyes." "You're playing with your pet walleyes?" "Yeah, I have them here in the live well," I said. I let them all out like this and they swim away, and then I take my whistle here and I go and I blow the whistle and they all come back and come right into my live well. He said, "I gotta see this." So he got out of his boat and came over and he stood there and he said, "All right, lady, let your walleyes out." So I opened the trap and they all swam out. He said, "Okay, lady, blow your whistle." I said, "What whistle?" "Well," he said, "the whistle you're going to call all your walleyes back in." I said, "What walleyes?" It worked. And Canute, my husband, you know, he was hunting that same fall. He and Ole were hunting, and they had shot a deer. And they were pulling that deer out of the slough by the tail. When the game warden came up, he said, "Hey, fellers, you're looking a little suspicious. I'd like to see your hunting licenses." So they got their license out. Well, everything was in order. And so he said to him, "You know, everything is in order, but you know, you're pulling that deer out of the slough by the tail. It would be a lot easier for you," the game warden said, "if you'd pull them out by the horns." "Oh, okay." Sven and Ole and Canute, they each took a hold of one of the horns, you know, and they started pulling and they worked and they huffed and they about 10 minutes. Finally, Canute said, "I just dropped the horn." And I said, "Ole, this is working a lot better. But you know, we're getting farther away from the pickup." True story. Isn't it amazing my husband Canute can shoot a deer? He can shoot one from at least 200 yards, but he can't hit the toilet bowl. Do you girls have that trouble too? Well, you know what? Here's the deal. I am also an inventor. If you've seen me before, I've shown lots of my inventions, and I'll give you girls a little hint. All you need is a little fishing string and a fly on the end, and you hang that in the toilet. And there isn't a man alive who won't like to strike that fly. And it will keep your toilet nice and clean all the way around. Good idea, huh, girls? Little fishing, yeah, good there. It really works. Yeah, and also, you know, Canute went to the doctor not too long ago because he thought he had water on the knee. And the doctor said, "No, Canute, you don't have water on the knee. You're not aiming straight." And I'm going to tell you about my neighbor in Snooze Hollow. He had a limp, you know. Yeah, I never knew why he limped so funny. But I asked him one day, and he told me he had a wooden leg. Oh, I said, I'm so sorry. That's too... No, don't feel sorry for me, he said. But you could feel sorry for me because, for one reason, it cost me $2,000 every year to insure that leg. $2,000. I said, that's a lot of money. Yeah, he said, that's crazy. You know, I said, I have a friend, Torval, and he has an insurance company. You mind if I call and see what I can do for it? No, that's fine. So I called him. Torval, I said, I have a feller here. He has a wooden leg. It costs him $2,000 every year to insure it. Can you do better? I'll get the rate book out, he said. So he went, yep, he said, I can insure that leg for $32.50. Really? A year? Yeah, he said, a year. It says it right here in the rate book. It says, any wooden structure with an overhead sprinkler is only $32.50. The men in Snooze Hollow have 3 hairstyles. They're parted, unparted, and departed. I have made a lot of money on selling my combs for bald-headed men. Yeah, they really work good. A man's hair, head is full of hair. Girls, do you realize that? That it's full of hair because when it quits growing up here, it pushes out his eyebrows and his ears and out of his nose. Doesn't it? He just keeps pushing out. My husband, Knut, he has such big eyebrows, he can use them for curb feelers. I gotta keep him combed all the time. And about that time of BuddyHolly and in the 50s, 60s, right in there's when we got the indoor plumbing for the first time. We hadn't always had an outhouse, and Knut it hadn't been very many days, and Knut says, Kreamsaugen, I'm using the outhouse. I'm not going in there anymore. Every time I go in there, it nips me in the hiney, he said. So the next time he had to go, I went and sneaked a little peek in the door. I opened the door, I said, no wonder it pinches you in the hiney. You're sitting on the mop bucket. Oh, that Knut of mine. We had an outhouse and he kept wanting to use it all the time, and we hadn't gotten the indoor plumbing yet at that time, and I had to go. So I went over to the outhouse, I knocked on the door. Knut, I need to get in there. He said, I'm not done yet. So I said, well, I'm going to wait out here for you for a while. So I did. Aren't you done pretty soon, Knut? He said, no, I'm not done yet. I went to the house, peeled potatoes, I came back and I went and I knocked on the door. Knut, I said, I need to get in there now, I'm desperate. I'm not done yet, he said. I went over to the door, and that little half moon on the door, I peeked in there. And there he was, sitting on the hole, and every once in a while he'd take his hand and he'd go, on his head. I said, Knut, I'm peeking in the little half moon at you. I can see you. Why are you sitting there pounding the top of your head like that? And he looked up at me and he said, well, it works on the ketchup bottle, he said. On the ketchup bottle. You'll think of that every time you hit the ketchup bottle, won't you? Huh? Chili Bon's big. It'll work. Huh? It'll work for for you right there. Once upon a time in Snooze Hollow, I took the newborn baby in for its first checkup. And after the doctor had checked him over a little bit, he said, you know, he said, this baby is malnourished and underweight. Is it breastfed or bottle fed? I said, it's breastfed. He said, sit down. I want to check you over. Me? Yes. You, sit down, he said. Huh, hut to Matuda. I got a breast exam like you never have seen in your life. Whew. And when he was all through, he said, well, here's the problem, lady. He said, you don't have any milk. I said, I know it, I'm his grandma. You know, Knut and I wanted to have a family so bad and it wasn't working out, so I went to the OB-GYN doctor, you know, and I told him that we wanted to have a family. He said, well, I have to check you over. So when he was all through, he said, you know, lady, you have a deficiency in your passage. If you have a baby, it will be a miracle. Oh! I threw my arms up. I cried all the way home. Knut was on the porch. I said, Knut, the doctor told me I have a fish in my passage. If I have a baby, it'd be a mackerel. Knut said, that's crazy. I know you don't have a fish in your passage. He said, I'm going to talk to that doctor. He's going to get a piece of my mind. And he did. He went right down there, walked right in on the doctor. He said, what's this idea you telling my wife she has a fish in her passage? If she has a baby, it'd be a mackerel. He said, I didn't tell her that. I am so sick and tired of these women misunderstanding. The doctor, he really blew his cork right out. Oof, he was mad. He said, I am sick of this OB-GYN business and I am going to quit right now, he said. I always wanted to be a mechanic. Yeah. So he went to school, the tech school, took him right in, and he graduated at the head of his class. Yeah, he did. In fact, he got 150% on his final exam. 150%. He said, how can that be? He called up the professor. He said, you know, I can do the math. What is this? Well, he said, you tore the engine down perfectly. So I gave you 50% for that. You built the engine back up again perfectly. I gave you another 50%. But I couldn't help it. I had to give you another 50% because you did it all through the tailpipe. That was pretty good. You know, we have to take a little 15-minute intermission and have you, ladies and gentlemen, take a little breather and stretch your legs a little bit. And Louis, come on out here. Tell them about your CDs.
Yeah.
There you are. Yeah, he's got some CDs.
Yeah, I've got a CD of a bunch of BuddyHolly hits. Only a few. We had like 23. But all of them you'll hear him play today.
Yeah.
Plus more.
You can play them in your car radio. But I have DVDs. These are videos.
Fancy.
And it's an hour and a half stories that I have. I did a live show and I had it professionally taped, and they're out
Wait
there.
a minute. You did a live show.
I did a live show.
As opposed to...
A dead show.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, we are giving them on a sale today for $10. Usually we charge $15, but this is a BuddyHolly special. His wife Donna, my husband Knut, will be outside, and you can stop and ask him all kinds of questions about that. And we will see you in about 15 minutes. And be sure and stay tuned for more fun and stories and BuddyHolly. Thank you for coming.
We have some fresh popcorn.
Hello, everybody. Are you ready to sing along with us a little bit? You know the song Side by Side? Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. You know it? All right, let's sing it. Here we go. Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along, singing a song side by side. Good, everybody. Don't know what's coming tomorrow. Maybe it's trouble and sorrow, but we'll travel the road, sharing our load, side by side.
All through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall?
As long as we're together,
It really doesn't matter at
doesn't
all.
matter at all. We all have troubles and heartache. We'll be the same as we started, just a traveling along, singing a song, side by side. Hey, give yourselves a hand. That was great.
You
Hey,
tell me some stories.
all
I
right.
gotta get Buddy.
All right, you will get Buddy ready. I'll tell some stories. How many of you know that old song, School Days? School Days, good old-fashioned rule days. Remember it? Say the words to me. Reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of a hickory stick. You were my queen in calico. I was bashful, barefoot, bold. You wrote on my slate, I love you so, when we were a couple of kids. Okay? I'm going to play it, and I would like you to sing it with me. And if the ladies would go, you were my queen in calico, and the guys would say, I was your bashful, barefoot, beau. And then we all sing. Okay? Let's do it. Here we go. School days, dear old golden rule days, reading and writing and arithmetic, great, taught to a tune of a hickory stick. Ladies, you were my queen in calico, I was your bashful barefoot beau. Fellas, you wrote on my slate, I love you so, when we were a couple of kids. Hey, good yourself a hand, that was great. I was really worried that there were too many young people that didn't know that old song that we used to sing. I wrote some new words for it though. It goes like this. School days, remember the old-fashioned rule days. You were the lead in the high school play. I was in trouble most every day. Remember athletics and cheerleading fun, the bus ride to Snooze Hollow, he once called me hun. We wore saddle shoes and danced to the blues when we were a couple of kids. School joys, we danced with those good-looking cool boys. Canute carved his name on my high school desk. That was before he grew hair on his chest. I married him 60 years today, for better or worse, the old-fashioned way. I was so glamorous and he was so amorous when we were a couple of kids. Yeah! Thank you. Oh my goodness. How many been to their class reunion lately? Oh, hutta matuta. I remember the old days in the 60s when we went to the first class reunion. Oh, we always like to lose a little weight, don't we, girls? So we look really cute, you know. Yeah, and so that was here. I got to lay my ukulele down here so Nadia Stetter. Oh, dear me. Well, she's going to be all right, I think. Anyway, thank you for singing with me. But you know, we like to lose some weight, don't we, before our class reunion. So I went and joined up with Snappy Fitness. That then. I said I want to take off 15 pounds. But they put us in different classes, you know. Yeah, my class, they put us on a brand diet. Brand diet. Morning, noon, night, brand. And then they exercised us. Oh, terrible. I sweat like a Hereford. And then you have to hang on, you know, because all that bran really gets you going. So one day I even went to the office and I called the incontinence hotline. I called the number. Incontinence hotline, can you hold, please? But I will tell you, one day after a good workout, I was walking out, and you know, I went by the sauna, and there were two girls in the sauna, young ones, you know, with the tight-fitting skin. They were sitting in there. Oof, that got dark in here. And they were sitting, I need a little bit more light, if you can put a little bit more light on. Yeah, sure. Well, anyway, there. Oh, that was good. I got to see some of these people, you know, because I decided I was going to have a sauna. And yeah, I did. I said, by hooky, I'm going to have a sauna, and I need something to sit on, too, because those two girls with the tight-fitting skin were in there sitting, and I went to the toilet and took off all my clothes. And I came out there, and one of them went like this. I didn't care. I paid for it. I thought, no, sir. I walked right over and sat right down alongside of her. And all of a sudden, I heard a little click, 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 and I looked over, and she's going like this on her wrist, see. I said, what on earth are you doing? She said, I suppose you've never heard of this. She said, I have a microchip in my wrist, and I can text anytime I want, she said. You sure aren't very much in the know, she said. Smarty. I sat there, I didn't care. Pretty soon I heard a little ring, 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 and I looked over and here the girl on the other side, she's talking to her armpit. Like this. After the workup, I really was hoping she wouldn't come and stick her nose in my armpit. I said, so what is this all about? I looked over and I suppose you haven't heard of this either? She said, I have a microchip under my arm and I can talk on my cell phone anytime I want. She said, boy, you sure got a long ways to go technology-wise, she said. I finally had enough of this put down. I went to the toilet. I got a long piece of toilet paper. I pinched it in my hiney. And I came out dragging it. And the one, she poked the other and she went. She said, what's this all about? She said. I said, what? Well, she said, what is all that about? And so I looked behind and I said, well, looky here. Someone is sending me a fax. Well, finally it came the day of the reunion, And they had a parade. We marched in the parade, yeah. My friend Helga and I, we decided we would march with the rest of the class, see? It was hot, hoofda. It was sticky and it was awful. We got to the end and she said, Kreamsaugen, let's sneak into the high school and take a shower, she said. Okay, I said, that's good. So we were standing there in the shower, and pretty soon she looked at me, and she pointed and laughed. And I said, Helga, that's not nice of you to point and laugh at my naked body. Well, she said, that is the ugliest belly button I've ever seen. I said, okay, if we march in a parade again, you carry the flag. You'll think of that every time you see a parade now. That thing looks like a belly button, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, we were getting our clothes on, and you know what happened? I slipped on the wet floor and fell on and broke the 2 front teeth out of my false teeth. Yeah. And now I have to go to the banquet tomorrow and see all my old friends with tooth. She said, let's go downtown, let's see if we can find a dentist. Okay, let's do that. So we did. And there was dentist up on a big sign, and we went in. I asked if they could fix it. Yeah, they could. Just sit down. So we did. And the dentist was down the hall, you know, and Helga says, do you think we know him? I don't know. I don't think so. Bald-headed, you know, a little bit of gray around here, lots of wrinkles, and a big wobble-gobble here. A little pot belly like this, you know, and he's walking from room to room. I said, we don't know him. He's too old. Way too old. So then they called my name, and I went back, and I sat down in the chair, and I said, you know, you look a little familiar. I said, are you from Snooze Hollow? And he said, yeah, I am. Oh, really? I said, did you go to school here in Snooze Hollow? And he said, yeah, I did. Really? What year did you graduate? He said, 1956. Really? I said, you were in my class. And that bald-headed little bit of gray with lots of wrinkles and the wobble-gobble and the pot belly, he looked right at me. He said, what did you teach? Terrible. So I got my tooth fixed anyway. It's time for the banquet. So I had lost 15 pounds, girls. I was whistle bait. I had a new leather skirt, and I was standing at the bus stop because I had to take the bus across town to the auditorium there, the ballroom. Standing like we really know we look good, you know, girls, like this. And the bus came, and I grabbed a hold of the handle, and I couldn't get my foot up on the first step. My skirt was too tight. So I just reached back and unzipped her a little bit, see? Grabbed a hold and I hopped a little bit, like this. No, I couldn't make it. So I reached back, I unzipped it a little bit more. Then I took a run at it. Grabbed the hole, I still couldn't get it up on that. And for the third time, I couldn't get it up there. Pretty soon there were these, I pulled her down again all the way. And then I just was ready to go when all of a sudden these 2 big hands came from behind. They lifted me right up and put me right up on the 3rd step. I swung around, I hit him and his glasses flew. And I said, don't you touch me there. He said, I really thought we were pretty good friends, lady. You had unzipped my pants 3 times. Well, we got to the surf ballroom. Oh, I got a table sitting with lots of my classmates. Oh, I wasn't at all happy with the ones I got to sit with, you know. the one lady, she was the shy girl in class. And I said, well, what are you doing these days? She said, well, I've been married 4 times, she said. 4 times? You're shy? Hoota batuta, whatever happened to you? Well, she said, you know, I always wanted to marry for money, so she said I married this really rich guy. And then he got in an accident and was killed. Then I met an actor. Oh, and he was charming, and I fell in love with him, and I got married to him, but he was up on a scaffold, and he fell down and broke his neck, and he was killed too. Oh, now I'm feeling sorry for her. And then she said I had to go to grief counseling, and I fell in love with the minister. He got a terminal disease and died too. Now I'm married to an undertaker. She said, I know the meaning of 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go. Oh, I had enough talking to her. Then I looked over on the other side, and there was a fella sitting having a drink, you know. He ordered a drink, and he drank it down, and then he looked down. He had bib overalls on for a class reunion, fellas. And then he'd order another one. He'd drink that down. He looked down here. I said, after the 3rd time, I said, you know, you've had 3 shots of whiskey, and you keep looking down your bib overhaul. What's that all about? Well, he said, I got a picture of my ex-wife down here, and when she starts looking good to me, I gotta quit drinking. And that wasn't the worst of it. There's another lady on this side of the table. She's asking for a shot of whiskey and 1 tablespoon of water. So she put the 1 tablespoon of water in it. She drank it. She ordered another one. 1 tablespoon of water. Now I said, what's this with you? 1 shot of whiskey and 1 tablespoon of water. Well, she said, I can hold my liquor, but I can't hold my water. I had a terrible time with that whole business, I tell you what. Anyway, we were at the surf ballroom. If you can believe it, I think I hear the show beginning right about now. This is what I had.
It is February 3rd, 1959. On that date, BuddyHolly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper were killed in an airplane crash near Mason City, Iowa. They were on their way to Fargo, North Dakota for their next concert, an appearance at the Moorhead, Minnesota Armory. Tonight, we have the opportunity to witness a recreation of the night before at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa, portrayed by Louis Ronkin. Please imagine that you are a teenager who just arrived at the ballroom in your '50s Chevy. You can hardly contain yourself as the announcer is about to introduce one of the biggest names of your era. Ladies and gentlemen, the Surf Ballroom is proud to present one of the hottest artists in the nation, with 22 charted hits to date. Please give a warm Iowa welcome to BuddyHolly.
Hi, folks.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yeah, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie. That'll be the day, hey, hey, when I die. Love you, give me all your love, and then you don't do nothing. All your hugs and kisses and your money too. But you know you love me, baby. But then you tell me maybe that someday we'll all be through. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yeah, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie. That'll be the day, hey, hey, when I die. shot his dart, he shot it at my heart. So if we let apart, but I'll need you. You see and hold me, then you tell me boldly that someday I'll be blue. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yeah, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you won't believe, you know it's a lie. That'll be the day, hey, hey, when I die. Well, that'll be the day. Ooh, that'll be the day. Ooh, that'll be the day. Ooh, that'll be the day, hey, hey, when I die.
Thank you for making these hits by buying my record. Thank you for paying your $1 and a quarter to come in the door tonight. Here's one called Oh Boy.
All of my love, all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world is see that it's you, oh me. All of my life I've been waiting, tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that it's you, oh meant for me. Well, the nighttime comes, shadows are falling, you can hear in my heart calling it. A little bit of love makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, you're a kissing, yes you were meant for me. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, oh boy. Yeah, yeah, oh boy. Well, nighttime comes, shadows are falling, you can hear in my heart calling. A little bit like a bitch, everything like a rock. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that it's you, oh meant for me. Yeah, that's you, oh meant for me. Yeah.
It's great to be here, folks. I tell you, we've been on the bus for about 12 days here, and it's been a rough 12 days. Been cold, but every time we get to these ballrooms like this beautiful surf here, you guys warm us up. Thank you for that, and once again, thank you for paying that money to come in the door. Thank you for buying my records. Isn't this band great? I picked them up back by Lubbock. They aren't the real Crickets, but boy, they're good. Waylon Jennings on bass. Carl Mullen, a good group here, good group. Listen, I got to tell you about that first song that you heard. That was my first hit of BuddyHolly and the Crickets, called That'll Be the Day. About 3 years ago, my best friend Jerry Allison and I went to a movie together back in Lubbock. John Wayne movie. Maybe you've seen it. It's called The Searchers. In that movie, John Wayne kept saying, "Well, that'll be the day." And we walked out of that theater, and Jerry Allison turned to me and he said, "Buddy," he said, "we got to make a song out of that. That'll be the day. I think that could be a hit." It worked. Thank you for that. Jerry Allison, good buddy, as was JB, my other Cricket there. They both helped me write along a lot of these songs. JB was kind of instrumental in this one called can't remember the name. Let's play this tune.
Hold me tight, the way we kiss, say goodnight. Rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know you got me reeling. You say I love you. Rave on, oh, the way you love me, hold me tight. You kiss me when we say goodnight. Rave on, it's a crazy feeling, And I know you got me breathing when you say I love you. Rave on, rave on. It's a crazy feeling, and I know that you got me reeling. I'm so glad that you're revealing your love to me. Rave on and tell me not to be lonely. Tell me that you love me only. Rave on. It's a crazy feeling, and I know that you got me feeling when you say I love you. Rave on to me, rave on to me. Rave on, JD, that sells his praise. Rave on. Listen, we wrote a few ballads. We used to drive over to Clovis, New Mexico to record some of these tunes at a great place, and this one's a nice little ballad we came up with. And imagine that you're listening to a clock ticking. The song's called Every Day. Every day, it's a getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Every day seems a little longer, and every way love's a little stronger. Love like yours surely come my way. Every day seems a little longer, every way love's a little stronger. What baby do you ever long for true love from me? Every day it's a going faster. All my friends say go ahead and ask her to love like yours surely come my way. That's 5 pennies tonight. Clovis, New Mexico recording studio. Isn't that a neat song? Well, now every day seems a little longer, and every way love's a little stronger. Do you ever long for true love from me? Every day it's a going faster. All my friends say go ahead and ask for love like yours surely come my way. Love like yours surely come my way. Neat tunes, aren't they? Say, listen, Jerry Allison, my buddy, my drummer from junior high, was a ladies' man. He dated so many gals that he had sayings for each of them. He had a lot of little hooks. You know, he'd help me write these songs. They're nothing but love songs. Think about it. These are all just love songs. Jerry's saying was, well, you know, maybe I'll go on. Maybe, baby. Sounded like a good song. How's this? Yeah. Baby, baby, I'll have you. Maybe, baby. but you don't care. You'll never listen to my prayer. Maybe, baby, you'll love me someday. You are the one that makes me sad, and you are the one who makes me glad. When someday you want me, well, I'll be there. Just wait and see. Maybe, baby, I'll have you. Maybe, baby, you'll be true. Maybe, baby, I'll have you for me. Well, you are the one that makes me sad, and you are the one that makes me glad. When someday you want me, well, I'll be there. Wait and see. Maybe, baby, I'll have you. Maybe, baby, you'll be true. Maybe, baby, I'll have you for me. Maybe, baby, I'll have you for me.
That was Jerry, all right. JB, meanwhile, he was the quiet one. We almost lost JB when he was a young kid. He was coming over to my house, riding his bicycle, had all these records, these 45s. He was holding them in his arm, had a couple albums under the other arm. He got hit by a car. He got hit by a car bad. He ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but he survived it, and he's a great bass player and helped write so many of these songs. We hope you enjoy a lot of these songs. We thank you for purchasing them. Here's one called It's So Easy.
It's so easy to fall in love. It's so easy to fall in love. People tell me love's for fools, so here I go breaking all the rules. It seems so easy, seems so easy, seems so easy, so doggone easy. It seems so easy, where you can serve my heart has learned. It's so easy to fall in love. 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 Look into my heart and see what your love book is selling like for me. It seems so easy, seems so easy, seems so easy, so doggone easy, doggone easy. It seems so easy, seems so easy, seems so easy, where you can serve my heart has learned. It's so easy to fall in love. It's so easy to fall in love. Seems so easy, it's so easy, it's so easy. Doggone easy, doggone easy. It seems so easy, it's so easy, it's so easy, where you can serve my heart has. It's so easy to fall in love. It's so easy to fall in love.
Well, as some of you may know, I recently got married. I married Maria, a beautiful bride. She's back in New York. We moved to New York. took an apartment there. My crickets are back in Lubbock just for a few months. But I had a chance to do some producing and write some more tunes and kind of run my own recording session, something that I always wanted to do. And I got a chance to hire some violin players from the local orchestra there. And if you were lucky enough to be one of the first few to pay your dollar here to get in tonight, you got a free record. I hope you enjoy that one. Here's one of the cuts from that tune. I hope you appreciate the new direction. All right?
The sun is out, the sky is blue. There's not a cloud to spoil the view, but it's raining. Raining tonight. Listen to those raindrops. The weatherman says clear today. He doesn't know you went away and now it's raining. Raining in my oh, misery, misery. What's gonna become of me? I tell my blues you mustn't show. Still these tears are bound to flow, 'cause it's raining, raining in my oh, listen to that rain. Yes, it's raining, raining in my it's raining, raining in my heart. Whoa, misery, misery. What's gonna become of me? I tell my blues you mustn't show. Still these tears are bound to flow, because it's raining, raining in my heart, raining in my heart, raining in my heart.
Thank you very much. Listen, before that recording session, I had the privilege of having lunch with Paul Anka. We got together here about 11 o'clock in the morning. My session was at 3:30. So we had lunch, and Paul says to me, Buddy, he says, I like your music, and you're an up-and-coming guy here. He said, I'd like to give you a song. I want you to play this song and see what you think. He sang this little tune to me. I loved it. He said, you want it, you can have it. So I went over, ran over to the studio, met with the producer there. We cobbled together some good string stuff for it, and we recorded it. This is one of the few songs I've got on record that I didn't write. And see if you like it. Okay?
Golly gee, what have you done to me? I guess it doesn't matter anymore. wasted all my days over you. You go your way, I'll go mine. Now and forever till the end of time. I'll find somebody new and we'll say we're through, but you won't matter anymore. There's no use in me crying. I've done everything and now I'm sick of trying. Thrown away my nights, I wasted all my days over you. You go your way, but I'll go mine. Now and forever till the end of time. I'll find somebody new and we'll say we're through, and you won't matter anymore. No, you won't matter anymore. Here we go. Thank you. That's a nice tune. Thank you. Nothing but love songs. Nothing but love songs. Before the show tonight, I got a chance to call my wife Maria. This is the longest we've been apart here, and I called her in New York and had a nice chat with her. Told her I missed her. I'd be home soon. Told her we'd been suffering on these buses, but we'll make it. She said, "Buddy," she said, "will you play our song?" I said, "Sure." So I'd like to dedicate this tune to my wife Maria. Just you know why you and I will by no true love way. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry. What we'll know why, just you and I, no true love way. Throughout the day, our true love way will bring us joy to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll sigh, and sometimes we'll cry. We'll know why, just you and I, no true love way. Throughout the day, our true love way will bring us joy to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, but we'll know why, just you and I, no true love way. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that record.
All right, it's about time for the end of my show here. I hope you enjoyed all the troupe here tonight. Richie and all the guys, aren't they great? They're just a great group of guys to travel with, too. Dion and I sat and played Hank Williams tunes on the bus. We're both Hank Williams fans, so it's been fun for us, too. Well, I got to finish off by telling the last story about Jerry Allison. We were on our way to a recording session in Lubbock. I was in the back seat. Jerry was driving the car. Jerry wanted to drive all the time. He kind of had a heavy foot. We lived an hour from Clovis, New Mexico, but we had to go through a time zone. And Jerry always wanted to get there before we left, which we did. So I'm working on this song back there. And Jerry interrupts me. And he says, "Buddy," he said, "would you change the lyrics to that song?" He said, "My girlfriend just broke up with me, and I think I could get her back if we had a hit record." Well, I was married a few months ago, and Jerry was married a few months ago. We took a joint honeymoon together, in fact. This is the song. Thank you.
If you knew Peggy Sue, then you know why I feel blue without Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal. I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Oh, how my heart yearned for you. Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal. Yes, I want you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue. Pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, I love you, gal. Yes, I want you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with a love so rare and true. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, I love you, gal. Yes, I want you, Peggy Sue. Lola, Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Pretty, pretty, pretty Peggy Sue. Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, I love you, gal. I want you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with a love so rare and true. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal. Yes, I need you, Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal. I want you, Peggy Sue. Good, Peggy Sue!
Hey! BuddyHolly! BuddyHolly, give him a hand! There's BuddyHolly! Hey! Woo! Oh man, isn't that fun? Oh, that's lots of memories.
I gotta go for a concert.
We gotta kind of think about letting these people go home now, I
I
suppose.
think so.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, be sure and take your Metamucil tonight. You know, that's hairball control for us seniors. Yeah, and remember, you don't stop laughing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop laughing.
That's right.
So keep on laughing, everybody. Keep on laughing. That's what, and you know, if you're leaving sing with the joyful heart today, then our purpose for being here has been fulfilled, right?
That's right. Keep singing those love songs.
Keep singing
Yeah.
those love
Yeah.
songs. Isn't it fun to go back in memory and stay with awe? It was great. Thank you all for coming. We really want to thank you for coming. I'm an old nurse, and I've been in the medical profession for 50 years. And I know that the good book says in Proverbs 17:22 that a joyful heart is good medicine. And so keep laughing. It is medicine to all of us.
That's right.
That's right. And you're a retired teacher, aren't
I'm
you?
a retired teacher, and I say keep singing those songs, those old love songs.
All those
Hum 'em.
love songs. Isn't that something? Anyway, thank you for coming, and thank Knut and Donna for letting us have a little fun with them, you know, our spouses. And also, we got married, you know, the old-fashioned way, for better or worse. Yeah, we couldn't have done any better, and they couldn't have done any worse.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you knew that was coming, didn't you? Yeah. And I tell you what, we want to thank also our veterans and our firefighters and our policemen, our staff and our sound people up there. Thank you for making us look good and sound good. We want to thank everybody. And we also, did you say something about God blessing us?
Oh yeah, and may God bless all of you, but more importantly, may you be a blessing to each other, each and every one of you. Thank you.
Very good. We get an amen for that? Amen. And if you do want to go out and we're going to, if you'd let us leave first, then we can personally thank you for being here. But we'll be out at the DVD and the video table. And I had to swallow.
She dances on
Anyway, you see, we have a limited supply out there. Yeah, both of us.
Yeah.
It's a limited supply. And if they all go, we'll go to our car and get another limited supply. Yeah. Yeah, they're good for shut-ins and birthdays and, you know, people in nursing homes, a Christmas gift. So anyway, we have one last song we want to sing with you all. And if you would sing Happy Trails to You until we meet again. You know the words to it. And who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather and keep smiling and keep laughing.
Trails to you.
Till we meet again.
Happy trails to you.
Until then. Louis,
Who cares about the clouds when we're together?
just sing a song and we'll have sunny weather.
Happy
Trails to you. Until we